Deborah Martin is my name. I am a certified research medium by the Windbridge Institute and an intuitive energy healer. Out-of-body occurred in 2 of my 3 near-death experiences. My first close call with death was Princess Diana's demise. I went out with some friends and we watched TV news. We were frozen by the shock. I was apprehensive to use my friend's automobile that evening after that. My friend said I was overreacting to my emotions. I was a single mother of 3 and I felt like something was off. Still, I got into a sports car trunk with 2 doors. A windowless van emerged in the quicker lane of the highway while I was in the slower one. Like a vision, a horrifying tragedy was about to occur. The idea increased my level of fear. Not now. I have 3 kids. I sensed something wasn't right, but I couldn't put my finger on it. We were hit before I could even consider that. After losing control, we smashed into oncoming traffic and shattered a 40-foot barrier. Before coming to a stop, the car made 3 exits from the highway. It was terrible because we were in the car. A dapper man came to the door and opened it with ease. He positioned us next to the bluff. He gave me an embrace and assured me that we will see each other again. My finger felt pressured, and I saw that my ring was bleeding. The ring was made of solid metal, but the man nibbled it to bend it before giving it to me. He promised to come back and kiss my forehead. Everything will work out. The man was gone, but I saw 5 fire engines and police cars when I turned right. That's when I knew something out of the ordinary had occurred. This is what started my spiritual journey. I went to seminars to find out more about what transpired and the identity of that enigmatic individual. Years later, I caught up to the car again as it turned left into a community. Nothing warned me this time. A car struck me while I was seated. I saw the impact from above, but I didn't feel it. I looked down and saw that I was gone. A pleasant deep voice asked, "Are you ready?" from behind me. "No, life is too good," I said, clearly understanding the terms. "Please assist me, kids." I could see my car and another truck with massive tractor equipment as I peered down. Trucks were threatening to wreck my car. I thought, I don't think I'll make it through this, and pictured myself being crushed. Before I knew it, I was back in the back seat of a 4-door automobile. The car was completely wrecked. Everything was strewn about. I was left in a tiny back seat pocket when my seatbelt broke. When they arrived, one of the 2 police officers asked, "Mom, are you okay?" They attempted to take the driver out. He was experiencing a diabetic seizure when he crashed into me at 60 to 70 miles per hour. The officer turned to face the second man and said, "Are you okay, sir?" He responded, "No, I'm really not." Behind my pickup was a tractor. My steering wheel was gripped by something, which caused me to veer into the other lane. I'm not sure what transpired. It was my fault for not slamming into her. These remarks had an unsettling aspect that made me realize that I had seen something incredible. I sensed something beyond this world and heard a spirit, which is how I found my mediumship. My ability to communicate through mediumship increased. Since I was 4 years old, I had been afraid and had ignored the ghosts I heard. Now it was time to unlock that door. I requested competency verification from Doss, Julie Beischel, and Gary Schwarz. Their challenging quadruple blind exam was passed by me. I was happy, remarried, and reading mediumship, and I felt like everything was ideal. Years later, I developed a serious illness. I couldn't regulate my bowel movements and was in excruciating pain, so it was awkward to discuss. I was mostly curled up in bed since eating hurt so badly. It seems like a difficult day to obtain water or crackers. I lost 80 pounds thanks to a fast. I couldn't be diagnosed by doctors. I thought of my children and prayed for their kidnapping. One was a 3rd grader at home, and the rest were gone. When I got to that point, I wanted to give up. One morning, it was as though spiritual surgeons came to my chamber. Being a medium, what I saw didn't frighten me. Even though I had no idea what they would do, I could feel their support because they appeared to be doctors. I had surgery close to my pancreatic. I was in terrible pain. "You have to suffer, Deborah," I told myself. "This is from God to heal you." I discovered that in order to feel pain, I had to keep my body and mind apart. I took a deep breath, and my spirit left my body. I felt like I was floating till I stopped. Whiteness enveloped me like a cloud. Well, I'm by myself now. The hurt had subsided, but all I could do was think, what do I do next? Suddenly there saw a gorgeous robed figure in front of me with her arms outstretched. I believed it to be God, who takes on various forms. We don't experience unconditional love like we do on earth, therefore I knew it was from God. He hugged me, my hair falling over his arms. Wow, I must be really sick if he carries me. He hoisted my corpse onto a light beam. Beside the light beam stood a stunning coffin shaped like Snow White. If only I could give it a go. I didn't enter the casket because I knew doing so would kill me. God then led me to a gorgeous place in the shape of a dome. How come we couldn't hear what we were saying unless we went inside the dome? He said that we were inaudible to anyone else in the universe. I sat because I wasn't afraid. He handed me a long document that he claimed was my survival agreement. The bullet point, "You're going to be a voice," reminded me of my new responsibility, which at first I thought meant mediumship. It didn't make sense to me. It sounded like an order to continue operating as a medium. As we signed the paper, I was moved by a divine urge to write my name and keep 2112 in mind. He said that since all numbers can be changed, my disease might be treated. Before I left, I asked permission to see my parents. I was happy and overflowing with love. If I saw my parents, he suggested I not go back. I politely requested to extend my stay because I was at ease. "No, you have to go back," he answered. "Your tasks and objectives have changed." I knew going back would be good for my health. God, who swore with me, and I signed the agreement. He made me think of 1212. It was a waste of time, he implied, to say that all numbers are reversible, even this one. I then went back. It was as though I glided down and then formed again. It was as though a wave was breaking. I recalled taking my first breath coming up out of the water. What just happened? Spiritual surgeons were not there in the room. I was alone myself, attempting to interpret what had transpired and doubting its authenticity. Because I wasn't sure I'd remember everything, I brought a pen and paper. I promise those are memorable times. It takes roughly 6 months to heal. It was necessary for me to do so since I was determined to heal and obey God's commands. My healing would work in tandem with my mediumship. I was unaware of the outcome. I began healing individuals, and eventually it was just God and me. I'm merely a tool. Patients with Hodgkin cancer in the spine and brain had a 2% survival rate even after receiving intense radiation and chemotherapy. It took him 5 days to recuperate. When I told my ex-husband, he said, "Why you? Indeterminate." I answered, I was selected for this task. When he could not handle the scale of this endeavor, everything I had worked so hard for came crashing down. It dawns on me now that God was shaping me to embrace this reality. They are a fascinating presence in my group or individual treatment sessions. How it works: I can take pictures of anyone, anywhere in the globe. While some people discuss their issues openly, others don't. In that session, I speak for them and ask God to heal them. I'll speak on your behalf. I realize now that even though I don't understand the words that pass through me, they are meant for you. I formerly believed that my mediumship played a role. These are the words that God has for you. I can clarify after the therapeutic intervention. Like they did when they found me, spiritual surgeons frequently walk into the room when we are working. Depending on how complicated the repair is, there can be multiple. I witness nurses coming in as well. I close my eyes and tell you what I see, feel, and experience. I go on spiritual journeys with people so they can talk to God in my out-of-body experiences or see departed loved ones. It's amazing how much gets done in one session. I record my responses to sounds I hear in real life, such as doors opening and tools falling. My clients frequently confirm these sounds. I converse with patients, physicians, nurses, and God. The healing session was attended by a cancer patient whose prognosis was uncertain. Since we record remotely, I never appear on camera during our sessions. We are at our sacred places, both of us. Customers occasionally feel the same way I do. Taking spiritual medication could tire them out. Some may cry, fall asleep, or experience a sudden burst of energy as a result. I saw a woman in front of God during one session and had a strong sense that he would communicate to her. A small girl was visible in the mirror in front of her. Before I knew who the girl was, I was unsure about her identity. God revealed to her at the age of 7 that her father disapproved of her and that her mother had a terminal illness. Soon after they arrived, her father took her outside and killed her infants. I told myself to trust what I was telling myself as I detailed my sights and visions. Every time I considered the depth of the session, I exclaimed, "Wow, that's deep." If I sent the recording, I would be certain that she would hear it. Deborah received an email from her saying, "I had forgotten about this. I ignored it, but I do recall everything you mentioned from when I was that age. I'm okay. That was the key. Continue to hike and have fun in life." Individuals encounter life-altering events on a daily basis. You never know what to expect because every session is a brand new experience. It's like watching a movie as everything comes to life. It's excellent to add healing abilities to mediumship. By tuning into these frequencies, we can make contact with God or Spirit. Simply follow your heart. Beliefs or religion are not necessary. Most of us are confirming it in our minds. You will discover new possibilities if you trust without thinking and follow your heart. People you care about are constantly close, whether you realize it or not. Remember that they are always close by. I promise that each and every near-death encounter has influenced my stance. I am thankful that I survived them, and I cherish that. These days, my gifts are some of my biggest issues. Helping people find health and spiritual guidance around the world is an honor for me. The experiences I had shaped who I am.